Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/choosingbeggars. With the choosingest, most beggaringest, most entitled choosing beggars you have ever seen in your life. Let's have a peek. Dorothy posted to Living in Town, USA. Are there any Christian plumbers on Facebook that is willing to volunteer to do $4,000 worth of plumbing to help a Christian family get the water working in her home? If so, please comment. I know God has laid it on your heart to do it because God has no hands but our hands. Yes, because if you want someone to help you, then fricking preach. People absolutely love that. If you go and ask someone to help and they're looking at you like, and you go, you have to do it because of fricking God said you have to do it, then they're like, you know what, now that you've made me see reason, I'll give you all of my parts and labour for absolutely freaking free. It works every time. Dorothy is just using that classic line. Again, there is absolutely no freaking shame. $4,000. And like, is it to get the water working in their home? You know, because I feel like if there was an issue with poverty and there being no water, then, you know, if this is America, surely something would have stepped in. I mean, I don't know, like, something's absolutely shocked me when I find out about them. But it seems like they've just got a fancy new house and they're renovating it or something and they want to get free stuff so they don't have to do it. I mean, this is awful. If they want to talk about, you know, freaking Bible verses, they should look up the one about the camel and the eye of the needle. And here is some absolutely terrible advice from holidappy.com on how to get a cheap wedding. Tip number 5. Have a free photographer. A professional photographer can easily cost you around $800 to $3,000. Now that is a waste of good money. As photographers run their own business, you may want to approach them and strike a bargain. Cover your wedding and they can use it as a platform to advertise their business. That is a win-win situation there. If that does not work out, try looking for a budding photographer in your family or perhaps a friend of yours who is brilliant when it comes to taking photos. Exploit those talents, you will be more comfortable and confident striking pose and it doesn't go on, and I don't really want to read anymore because this is absolutely disgusting advice. Here's a tip on how to get a cheap wedding. Exploit your friends and family. Send out demanding emails so that no one will ever want to work you again and you'll look strutting in your wedding outfit. Oh, frick off. I nearly said the other F word, you know, the one that isn't frick, but sounds like frick. I nearly said that one. That's how annoyed I've got. Honestly, that whole, you can use it for your portfolio. This is something that every single choosing beggar says, and it's not gonna work, and I don't know why they suddenly think it is gonna start working, because it never freaking does. The only way that this sort of like somewhat worked for us was that when me and my fiance got our wedding outfits, the tailor happens to be a friend of the family of my fiance, like a friend of the in-laws, and she gave a little discount purely because she was really excited to be able to do wedding outfits. She'd never done wedding outfits before. You know, we usually used her for cosplay and stuff. But she had never done wedding outfits before. She was so excited to get to it that, like, we covered, you know, labour and materials. But then she also gave us a little thing so that she could say, oh, look, I'm now doing wedding outfits. But the thing is that was her idea. We didn't ask for that, and I never freaking would, because, you know, it's talent, it's time, it's effort, it's skill. You know, I don't know how people can, like, undervalue their loved ones so much. So this next one's a really long one, but it's an absolute doozy, so strap yourself into your zoot suits and give your hentai dolls a little kiss on the cheek goodbye as we go on this journey together. Hi Blue, I'm contacting you about the KitchenAid. What's a good time to call you to figure out the details? By the way, if you may notice, this was sent at 4:25 a.m. Hello, can you please answer me? Are you getting my messages? I need this by tomorrow. Why the frick aren't you reading my messages? You are a rude and horrible person. I've never been disrespected like this in my life. WTF, you messaged me in the middle of the night. I was asleep. Why would you expect otherwise? Also, I'm already waiting to hear back from someone about the mixer. If they don't respond by noon today, I'll let you know. By the way, who am I speaking to? I expect if you want to sell something, you should be available for potential customers 24/7. What do you mean waiting to hear from someone? I spoke to Andrew and he said I could have the mixer. Why aren't you answering again? You should be ashamed of yourself leaving people hanging. Oh my god, I was getting ready for work. What the hell is wrong with you? I already told you I'm waiting to hear back from someone, and to be frank, even if they pass, I'm not selling to you. Stop messaging me. How dare you? Andrew promised me the mixer and they said you'll be dropping it off tonight. My daughter is expecting a cake tomorrow. The post specifically said this is for pickup only. I'm not dropping off anything. And who the frick is Andrew? And who are you? Mind your tongue, young lady. I'm a potential buyer and I expect to be treated with respect. Andrew, your brother? I don't have a brother named Andrew. We work together. I'm Miss Blue. Do you mean my actual brother's name? Yes, your brother. Anyway, what time should I expect you tonight? And I think you should let me have it for $50 since you were so rude to me today. I don't think anyone else would be interested given how you've treated me. I'm not lowering the price, but that should not worry you because I'm not selling to you anyway. Stop messaging me. I need the lower price on the mixer. I'm on financial aid and can't afford $150. Your brother promised I could have it. You are the most unprofessional and rude person I've ever met. I just spoke to my brother. He has no idea what you're talking about. I need that mixer. I promised my kids cake tomorrow. Are you seriously going to let my family starve to save $100? You are the worst, rude, inconsiderate frickin' person I have ever met. I hope you never find yourself in my need. I'm on financial aid. Can't you show a little compassion? How cold is your heart? Thanks for letting myself and my kids down. What am I supposed to make them now? I guess I'll tell them Andrew's sister is a bee that doesn't want them to have cake. Why aren't you answering me? I'm sorry, I was having breakfast. Baked a lemon cake yesterday. I hope you choke. So another trend I've noticed with the whole choosing beggars, especially with the ones that are particularly demanding for a response, is that a lot of them do seem to think that they're not actually talking to a person, but rather like the blank face of a mindless corporation. They're so used to like the world of convenience and the gig economy that they don't get that one person cannot, do the same thing. And it requires a whole team of people in order to make that work. If there's a 24/7 freaking gas station, it isn't just this one, zombie attendant trembling in front of the cash machine like, I've been here for 3 years, So that whole, why aren't you answering me? And it wasn't even like it was a whole hour before the first message was sent. It was like a couple of minutes, like, why are you ignoring me? When, it's kind of impossible to ignore someone if you're asleep, because to ignore someone, it means an active choice, right? It means you've chosen not to listen to them. Whereas if you're asleep, you can't really make that decision. Also, okay, like a random point, that cake at the end looked pretty freaking good. Lemon cake is one of my favourite cakes. Also begs the question why, if she goes on about how poor she is, like she says that she's on financial aid. I mean, this is America. I'm not all too familiar with how that works, so I don't know what that means exactly. I assume it's just a form of welfare. If that's the case, why does she need some, $150 thing to make a fancy cake? I don't know what a KitchenAid is, so I might be talking a load of bollocks here. But surely you would need that. Also, my favourite bit, are you going to let my family starve over $100? The idea that if she doesn't get this one freaking kitchen, cake maker, then her family aren't gonna freaking eat at all. It's like, if I don't get this cake maker, if I don't make a cake, they're going without. So what's it gonna be? You really gotta prove that you want that KitchenAid, you gotta prove that you're willing to starve your own children in order to get that. That's the kind of dedication it takes to own one of these things. Also, I was really surprised, they quickly said, you know what, I'm not selling to you, and fair enough. What I was actually thinking when they first said, wow, I was asleep, is why are you still interested? Because the moment I got that flurry of messages with insults just over the course between 4 and 6 a.m, if that happened to me, I would just flat out block them, nope, not dealing with you, or I might call them a few choice words before then, or even direct them to choosing beggars. And then they did that, like, classic boomer thing of, like, calling OP's brother by the wrong name, and then after she corrected them, still calling them by that name. Well, I'll tell them Andrew's sister's temple. Do that, they don't know who Andrew is. So it's not really going to make any difference. And they always seem to think that the idea of their kid sad for whatever reason, like, she's crying now, I hope you're happy, like, the idea of, oh, your crappy parenting made your kid sad, and you expect me to feel guilty about that? I more feel embarrassed for you that you don't feel guilty about what a crappy parent you are. But yeah, this was some top choosing beggarish. My compliments to OP for this dish, for this cake. Searching for a photographer for my wedding, here are my requirements. 1. Must be willing to job for free. 2. Must have at least 8 years of experience. 3. Must be at the wedding all the time, no breaks. And 4. Bring your own food and drinks. Oh my god, even asking someone to work for free is ridiculous. Like, the thing about wedding photography is, you know, I've seen a lot of Choosing Beggar posts about wedding photography. And as I've mentioned as well, like, I am actually going to be getting married soon. So, you know, I would rather pay more and make sure that what I've got is something that I can definitely keep forever and just treasure. But the whole, like, must be at the wedding all time, no breaks, and bring your own food and drinks. Seriously? You're not willing to just bring out an extra plate for the freaking photographer? The photographer and all the staff are gonna be, like, more than welcome to all the food that I bring, my god. And no breaks? Like, what? Do you want them to bring a colostomy bag? Like, what the frick is that about? Rest assured, Philly police will be boycotting De Bruno Bros from here on out. Hashtag back the blue. So, number 1. De Bruno Bros offers free lunch for police. 2. Employees threaten to strike over the move. 3. De Bruno's rescinds policy. 4. Police union announces a boycott. That's right, American police are so freaking entitled that they are boycotting a pizza place just because they're not getting free freaking pizza. How are you going to boycott them if, like, how are you going to boycott if you're not spending any freaking money? It makes no difference either way. Honestly, this is why I absolutely can't stand police. Police are basically like the school bully? It's like the school bully that goes around that tries to demand things and get their own way and beats people up and just treats everyone like crap. And then the moment, like, they get into trouble for it, their dad comes in who's like a rich twat who just makes it all go away and then you have to deal with it. That's basically what the police are. It's what happened to that kid. That kid grew up to be a police officer, and that's why you have so much violence within the police. This is why most people that join the police are like people that want to shoot guns and kill people as opposed to help the community. This is why the idea of the police is just not freaking working. And this kind of entitled attitude just sums it up for me. I absolutely can't stand the police. Anyone giving away cheap AirPods Gen 2 with charger and original casing unsealed under $10, preferably free? Or if not, can anyone give me a free Disney Plus account? Both are for my daughter's 12th birthday. I promised her them, and if she doesn't get them, she will cry. Thanks. A message to all choosing beggars out there. Because I'm sure that, like, the whole thing about the daughter is just some kind of pity thing to attempt to get them to get the free things. I mean, they've got a picture of Baby Yoda there, so I'm a little bit skeptical about the free Disney Plus account would be for my daughter's 12th. Like, I have a little feeling that you may want to watch at least one program that Disney Plus has to offer. But let's just entertain that this kid is real and that she made, sorry. Because, I got the impression that it was the mother, but you really can't know. So, yeah, sorry, they do have a daughter that they have promised all these things for. If the daughter is brokenhearted, it is their fault. It's the parents' fault for promising all of these things that they couldn't freaking afford. I grew up as a relatively poor kid, and I knew that on Christmas I wasn't going to get the big things. There was one Christmas where I got a Game Boy Color, And that was it. And I do remember that Christmas just being the best one. Like, you know, which shows how great it was for me. But you know, after that, I knew I wasn't really going to be getting anything that big again. And I didn't until I was in my 20s. But, you know, that's... You can handle that. You know, kids can handle that. If kids are aware of the situation, then they'll be okay. But... you know, none of that matters because this kid probably doesn't even freaking exist. What I was thinking was you could send me something from your company and in exchange I would post a picture on my stories to promote it and I can even do an unboxing. My fee is $50. Let me know what you think. Yeah, not only is like the CB here asking for something for free from the company, but they wanted them to give them $50 as well for the pleasure of having them do an unboxing video. This isn't even like, you know, just extortion, like the whole working for exposure thing anymore. It's working for exposure and then trying to mug you afterwards. I never heard of having to pay someone to read any of their chapters on here unless they are greedy with money or just needing it. This is optional content. It costs $1 and doesn't affect the storyline whatsoever. In what realm of existence is it greedy to withhold extra content not dependent on the plot of the story? Really? I mean, there's so much wrong with Red's comment here. First of all, I've never heard of having to pay someone to read any of their chapters. Okay, like, let's ignore the on here bit. Have you ever heard of a freaking book? There's a reason why JK Turfing is, you know, swimming in money right now. And the fact that they're giving away so much content for free and then just have an extra, you know, chapter or so, like, as a, you know, oh, this will help, but you get this as well. You know, it's not a bad thing at all. They just want a little something their way for the, you know, the work that they're putting into this free content. It's not much. It's like, you know, how YouTubers have Patreons and stuff like that. And also that, or just needing it. Like, what's wrong with needing money? Like, why are you trying to shame them if they're poor? Like, that's just really horrible. And that little judgmental face at the end, oh, piss off. So peed. In search of transportation for 20 people from MSP Monday morning. Try Teal bus lines. Yeah, nope, costs money. Next. So you're expecting almost 100 miles worth of mass transit for 20 people from a complete stranger for free? Good luck with that. It's for a church, honey. Just looking for help. Don't need the attitude. Next. Still looking. Still looking? I have a minivan that seats 6. 20 people. Next. Whoa, sorry. Next. Coming off a little aggressive, Pink. Just saying. I run the sober cab in town. We have 2 vans, so we can handle around 12. Maybe some can carpool? Do you have a car some can ride in? They're arriving at the airport. They don't need a sober cab. That's just the name of our cab company. We don't require intoxication. Needs to seat 20. Next! Let me know if you change your mind. The absolute worst part of, like, this CB was the next, like, they were, like, doing some auction or something. Like, who wants the absolute privilege of, you know, seating me and my farty churchy Joes in your long vehicle, you know, and driving us around for free? Who doesn't want that? It sounds great, you know? And that whole, it's for church, honey. Like, so many religious people, it's like the whole weird, you know, demons in the sky televangelist. That a certain amount of people think that, you know, they can throw religion into whatever and then somehow that's going to mean that they get, you know, something free out of it. It's like the quote from William Burroughs, and I'm going to have to censor this so it isn't going to have the same impact. But it's, if you're doing business with a religious son of a being, get it in writing. His word isn't worth crap, not with the good Lord telling him how to frick you on the deal. And there's so much truth in that. A lot of, you know, religious types are quite vampiric, you know. Like, I mean, you know, I'm actually thinking about televangelists here. I'm thinking about the one that, like, deliberately, you know, extort money out of poor people, telling them that somehow it's gonna sow the seeds. And that them being Christian somehow means that they have all this power, and that, you know, it's quite abusive in a way. And this was like that, but on a real low scale. You know, that, but just give me a free ride. But yeah, the fact that people are trying to help and going, oh, I can do this, and like, no, not 20, next! Like, there was one guy that said, oh, I can do 12, so how about find someone else to do the remaining 8? I mean, really? And they were, like, trying to be friendly as well. But, you know, the way that they were speaking about it straight away and the way that they, you know, were responding to people, it was so aggressive from the outset. I don't know what they were expecting to achieve from this. Well, that's it for this episode of r/choosing beggars, because, you know, it doesn't really hurt to ask, I guess, at the end of the day. As I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed listening to this subreddit or would like to hear from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments, and until then, I'll see you all next time.